The most love-hate relationship with a devil fruit that I've ever had. I'm sure you can tell by the title, or maybe you can't, because I don't even know what I'm gonna title this video. This video is about Suna. Suna no Mi in Grand Peace Online. Now, this fruit, like I literally just now said, it is a love-hate relationship. Sometimes it just shines and it's such a good devil fruit, and other times I'm just like, why did I eat this fruit? It's so bad now. Anyways though, what this video is basically going to be about is just me giving you my honest opinion on Suna after the nerf. Because if you haven't been keeping up with GPO, nerfs, and buffs, there was recently a nerf where Suna pretty much, it got taken away some of like its main factors. The ones that I know off the top of my head is that this skill right here called Desert Cutlass, it doesn't block break anymore. That's one of the major ones. The Desert Storm also has longer startup or shorter startup. I haven't been able to get it down for sure, but it has more startup and the damage is cut in half. So right now I have 450 into Devil Fruit, and before this would be doing around 30 damage to 36, which is a lot considering it's a barrage that hits 20 times. But now the damage is cut in half and mine is doing 14 with 450 into Devil Fruit. So those are some of the nerfs that I know about Suna off the top of my head, and pretty much it like really affected the fruit in a pod. Well, any nerf is bad, so in a negative way, but at the same time I think it's good, even though I don't want to say that because Suna before was absolutely brain dead. So we might as well just start this video off by covering some of the main parts of Suna. I'll have clips of me PvPing with the fruit in the background. I recently just finished recording them, and they're pretty fresh. They're pretty fresh with me using Suna. So what you're seeing there is going to be how I play with Suna, I guess, and how the fruit pretty much just works in arena. But the main thing that I want to talk about, I might as well just start off with the negative, and then we could go into the positive. So for the first negative, it's going to be pretty much just the nerfs. Now before Suna, with Desert Cutlass being a block break, it was absolutely broken. Suna was either the best fruit inside the game or it was just the second best. Like Desert Cutlass, it had barely any cooldown and it's pretty much just a quick flash guard break. It's as if you had like Shion being a block break. It's really fast and the cooldown's not that long. So the first nerf was pretty much that not being a block break, and now the skill is not unusable. You can still use it sometimes because maybe you could trick people and catch them off guard. But honestly, I find myself using this skill a lot less because most people know that you cannot combo with this skill anymore. And since the airtime stun got nerfed, if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much how long you stay inside the air. Since that got nerfed, it's not a true combo extender. So if I was to do this, and then I was to do that down slam, people can block in that, or they can either just Geppo out of the way. So that takes out one of Suna's combo extenders. It just doesn't make it true at all, which leaves Suna with only one combo extender, and that's Desert Cutlass Frenzy. However though, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Desert Cutlass. It's just, the skill it's not bad, it's still usable. It's just like, it requires you to use your brain more because you don't have that much of a free guard break, is what I would say if I'm being honest about it. And the next skill about Suna that got nerfed, which is probably the one that it doesn't really affect the fruit that much, even if it's like gutted, is Desert Storm. Now, even though I just now said it doesn't affect the fruit that much, it's 50-50 depending on how you use it. So, like I said, the startup got nerfed. It basically takes longer to come out, and the damage is cut in half. So pretty much you just can't do all their HP in like one barrage, which is balanced. That is literally balanced, which is good. But now the fact that it has so much startup is just so bad and it's low-key unusable. And the only reason I'm saying that is because nothing on Suna has hyper armor except Desert Railgun and Spada after you hold it for like a couple of seconds. But I'm not going to get into that now. Let me just focus on Desert Storm. This skill, honestly, if you're hoping to hit it in arena, you'll probably only hit it off once on the person that you're fighting at most. I can confidently say that every time I use Desert Storm, I only hit it once per match. If I hit it 2 times, then that is purely just luck. And I never ever hit Desert Storm 3 times unless my person's just like AFK or they're like deliberately letting me hit off Desert Storm. Desert Storm, it has way too much startup, it has no hyper armor, and once you hit it, I mean, you can still combo and like hit them inside of it, which is still a good thing. I'm happy that that didn't get nerfed. It's just that, like, once they get to the top of that, they can move and start blocking. So it's like, if they're jumping and you hit them in Desert Storm, once they get to the top, they will just pop right out. And that's because it doesn't keep them in there. It just slowly pushes them to the top. But that's pretty good for balancing, because if you just kept them still, somebody could do a barrage skill on the floor and just combo them. So I guess it pays out. This fruit, it's very balanced. And it kind of sounds like I'm complaining about something that's balanced, but I feel like it's balanced. It could be balanced-er. That probably sounded really dumb, but you'll get what I'm saying. Pretty much, like, just a small buff. And I know that it might sound like that just because I'm using the fruit and, oh my god, you're a YouTuber, you just want the fruit to become brain dead. No, it's just that there's a lot of flaws with this fruit, which leads me to tell people, do not eat this fruit. Probably will be the title of the video. I don't know yet, I'm not sure. However though, that was me covering Sunnah's kit pretty much after the nerf, and now I'll just go into my main ranting section about the devil fruit. So, the main ranting section about Sunnah. My #1 problem with this fruit is the fact that you need over 450 into devil fruit to actually do damage. And like, the problem with that is it's making your build so biased. It's like, if you want to do damage with the fruit, you're gonna have to sack either your stamina, your HP, or your sword damage. I chose to sack my sword damage, so I don't do that much per M1. And it's like, even though I'm doing this much damage with my fruit, it's not like I'm gonna be hitting off my skills that often, because they're very easy to avoid. Like I said, Desert Storm is practically unusable. It's so terrible. There's no hyper armor on this skill at all. You literally get hit with like air and then the skill just cancels. It's so bad. Like, it's just terrible. What else? Desert Cutlass. Now this, it also doesn't have hyper armor. So if you just use it and they just touch you, then the skill's gone. Cutlass Frenzy, no hyper armor at all. What else? Desert Spada, no hyper armor unless you hold it for like a couple of seconds. So like, I would say if you hold it for about 2 seconds to 3 seconds, it starts to get hyper armor. And not only that, it's a straight line skill that does 45 damage with 405 into fruit. The fact that you're even able to hit this skill on somebody that's not limping, and then you hit them for 45 damage, it's like, was that even worth it? And this is also Sunnah's second guard break for the fruit. The fruit only has 3 guard breaks, which is completely fine with me. But it's like, this is unreliable. There's the only point I would say to use this is if you just want to put pressure on them and scare them away. So you could probably try to do like you could put down a Spada and then they're gonna see it, and you could try to throw a Storm out like that to just catch them off guard. I guess that's a decent strategy. I hit it off on one person inside my arena clips, but it's like, Desert Spada, it doesn't do that much damage, and it's not even rewarding when you hit it, because it's like nobody's getting hit by this skill. And Desert Railgun, the ultimate, I think is pretty fine. I don't have that much to say about it. If you use it close range, it'll pull them, and before you would be able to do a Desert Storm and into Railgun, but since they increased the startup, you can't do that anymore. So once you hit off Railgun, you're really just hitting them for your 98 damage with 450 into Devil Fruit, and then you just push them back. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Pretty much my main point of this is that having this much into fruit and you're still not doing, I guess, update 4.5 damage is not good. Fruits like Magma are doing 100 per Magma Fist. Now, I don't know stats for Magma, I don't know how much they have, but the average Magma user that I see is doing over 100 into their fist. And don't even get me started about Eruption. We can make a whole video talking about that skill. That is wild. Eruption should not be what it is. But Magma's out here doing that much damage, and it's a powerhouse fruit. It makes sense. Akainu inside the show, literally a powerhouse, so it makes sense for Magma to be doing that much damage. Mira, you need a lot of fruit into that to be using Mira, so I guess it pays off for Mira. What's another fruit? Pika, I rarely see Pika users. But pretty much where I'm going with this is that Sunnah scaling low-key sucks. it's not the best, and it makes sense because Suna is supposed to be like, it was never such a brute force fruit inside the show. It's really just something that's reliable for Crocodile, I would say, for the stuff that he does. So yeah, Suna scaling is not the best, and when you add bad scaling on top of no hyper armor for anything, it doesn't really add up that much. Now, I'm still able to make it work in Arena, and that's purely just because I am abusing Desert Cutlass Frenzy. That skill is your best skill with Suna at this moment in the game right now. If you think Desert Storm is going to be used, you are delusional. I wouldn't even recommend trying to use Desert Storm. You could try to catch them off guard, but once you miss it, you're either A, gonna get punished, or B, you're just probably wasting stamina. So yeah, Desert Storm is not reliable. Desert Cutlass, I don't hit people with this skill often. I probably hit Storm more than I hit Desert Cutlass, and that's just because people have like this mindset where they should just block, and that's not even bad because, you know, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between Cutlass Frenzy and Desert Cutlass. Like, there's nobody probably that just has the difference between them two, like between those two skills locked down. So that's not bad, but most people end up just blocking Desert Cutlass because they just hold block, and it usually works out for them because once you miss it, you're usually right behind them, so they could just M1 you or just pretty much hit off a combo on you because you missed your skill, which is how things should be if you miss your skills. So pretty much my whole entire renting section for that part of the video, I guess it's done. Only thing I was really proving was how balanced Suna is, and it's like I'm really trying to make balance sound like it's bad right now, and I don't know if that's bad, but pretty much Suna, it's really just balanced. That's the way it is. It's probably a little bit underbalanced right now. This video, like, if you asked me one day ago, I was gonna say Suna's trash, don't eat it, it's the worst fruit. Suna truly is just balanced. It takes skill to use now, somewhat, because it's like you're putting in a lot of effort when you're going up against Magma. Magma uses Hiei, Gura, and it's like, why did I eat Suna when I could have just traded it and got one of those fruits? So it's actually crazy to me, but Suna, it truly is just a balanced devil fruit at this point. I still don't like the way it is. There's so much flaws to it for me, and the next part of the video is going to be my personal suggestions that I have for just buffing this fruit or just fixing it in general. Some people truly think that the fruit is fine, and if you have that as your opinion, then hey, good for you. But as for me, I don't like the way that the fruit is right now, because I do like no M1 damage, and it's not like I can fully rely on my devil fruit to carry me because there's too much flaws with it. Like I said, the main thing that's a problem for me is not having hyper armor on anything. You literally could get touched and it just goes away, and like you still do the animation, so you're just there getting punished by someone that's doing 55 per M1 while using Zushi, and it's like, bro, what? I'm telling you, Suna, in my eyes, I'll say it's the worst legendary out of all of them, and that might be a bold statement, but Suna has nothing over any other legendary. Hiei has freezing, Gura has guard breaks, Zushi has a pull, a pull. You don't know how overpowered it is to just pull somebody to you and hit off OP high damaging M1s. Mira has burn damage, Tori can heal, Magma can just blitz your HP, Pika can fly and do multiple combos, and Suna can throw sand in your eyes. What does this fruit have over anything? I'm telling you, if you are questioning to eat Suna over any other fruit, and this is me talking about PvP by the way, just eat the other fruit. Eat the other fruit. Trust me, you will be better off doing that. So yeah, I might as well go into PvE because that's my main, well, that's like the main player base for GPO. So I'm gonna try to cover this section fast because I don't want this to be like a 20-minute video of me ranting about Suna. But PvE for GPO, Suna, it only has one skill, literally only one skill. So for PvE, I'm thinking about dungeon. What you want to do is this dungeon is just Desert Flight, and then you want to use Desert Storm. Desert Storm is literally your only skill that you plan on using for PvE with Suna. It hits 20 times for 14 with my stats, which is, that's like, it's a good amount of damage. So if you're doing dungeons, it'll be able to do that. But if you're trying to solo dungeons with Suna, you're probably gonna need at least 700 into devil fruit to do enough damage to one shot. You probably can't even one shot the bosses, because the desert storm caps out at 25 damage instead of 50 now, which is balanced for PvP, but it's not for PvE. PvE and PvP should be two different things. That's a whole nother video too. Anyways though, Sunnah for PvE, it has nothing over any other fruit again. Hiei, it's hella underrated for PvE. I've seen my friends using Hiei doing 80 per Parison, which has no cooldown, keep in mind, and 120 per Ice Stomp, which barely has a cooldown. Hiei is better for PvE. Only thing Sunnah has over it is just flight. Literally just flight. What else? Mira, burn damage. Magu, burn damage. Pika, burn damage. Plus light ray is legit. Desert Storm, better on crack, and you can move. Like, what? Every fruit inside the game is better than Sunnah for PvE except Gura. Gura is the one exception to that. Gura is the worst fruit for PvE. It's not that terrible. It's like a 4 out of 10. And Sunnah's a 5 out of 10 for PvE. So yeah, Sunnah's definitely above Gura for PvE, so let me not mistake you. You can, like, if you're eating Sunnah for PvE, expect to have a lot into your fruit to do pretty much any type of damage, is what I'm basically trying to tell you. But yeah, Gura is the one fruit that's worse than it. Anyways though, this is going to be the last section of the video, and this is going to be how I think Sunnah should get a small buff. The fruit right now, I like the only problem I have with it, I'm fine with Desert Cutlass not being a block break. I'm fine with Desert Storm having the extra startup and having the damage cut in half. The one thing that's a problem is that there is no hyper armor for any of the skills besides Desert Railgun and Desert Spada. Well, I don't even know if Desert Railgun has hyper armor, but yeah, I'm fine with all of that. The only problem is there's no hyper armor for like the main skills that you're using. Now, I don't want them to just give it hyper armor on Magma's level. Magma's level of hyper armor is brain dead. You can ragdoll them while they're using Magma's Stomp? No. Oh yeah, you can ragdoll them. You can ragdoll them while they're using Magma Eruption, and they will just go through the ragdoll and hit you with the eruption still. That's brain dead. Sunnah should get hyper armor to an extent, and I think this could also apply to Magma. If they deal over 50 damage, I think 50 damage is fine, then the skill should cancel, right? Or you could probably even bump that up to like 75, because people do 50 damage per M1. If they deal over 75 damage, then the skill should cancel. It shouldn't cancel if they hit you with like a 9 damage black leg kick or like a 4 damage Rokushiki hit. It shouldn't cancel purely just from that, because that's literally like a freaking nut tap. That is legit a nut tap. Nothing on this fruit should cancel from doing that, and I hate it so much, because it's so common to just get hit for like 4 damage because they messed up their switching, or to get like 18 per M1 because they don't do that much per M1, and then you just stand there and get comboed until they're a fruit that's doing like 800 per burn. Like, it's so common, and that's just such a huge problem for me, and I don't like it at all. So that's my only problem with Sunnah. If it has some form of hyper armor, I can probably stick with this fruit forever, because it's one of my favorite fruits from One Piece. I have a double fruit tier list. Sunnah is probably my #1 or my #2 favorite fruit from One Piece. I love this fruit so much, and to see it just get massacred like that, it pains me. Anyways though, this was my video. I'm not going to try to ramble on any longer because it's already too long, and I'm pretty sure some people are not even going to make it this far. But thank you for watching. I appreciate the support on my channel. My channel is growing at such a fast rate, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm happy that the majority of you are here to see the Bohemian journey. It's pretty cringy. That's so cringy, I'm just gonna cut that out. Besides that though, thank you for watching my channel. I appreciate you for watching the video. Hope that you're having a nice day, and goodbye.